Hello and welcome to another video. Alright, so this is a redesign, if you can't tell. I was kind of on the clock with this one though, because I was going to my wedding makeup trial after it, and this is a good friend of mine. So I was just kind of rushing a little bit. I didn't do it as smooth as I could have done, and I just think that I should have smoothed that base a lot more than I did really. But I'm coming in now with Trilogy Blue Moon, and it is a sort of a navy blue, but it's got a bit, I think it's like maybe like a rose gold shimmer in it. It's really pretty anyway, because my client wanted a navy blue set, and I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do a navy blue ombre that was a navy blue and a navy blue, and yeah, you know, it's going to cost me, it's going to like this, give like this hidden depth. And did it? No, you can't tell at all in those pictures at all. So this was a redesign, and it was the pre-existing Ursula set that I had done, which I didn't put a video up of because it was out of shot. That is why, by the way, there's been no videos for like 2 weeks, because every set that I have done until this weekend has been out of shot. And on that Ursula set I had like a jelly nail which I'd made by putting some ink drops in monomer. Yes. And thought, oh, you know, that's really dark and it'll match, and it didn't. So I thought, oh, I'll just only put the top colour on, and that didn't work at all, and you'll see that I'm going to cover it up later on. And yeah, so I'm sort of rushing a bit, I'm sorry. So I'm just covering the bottom half in Blue Moon, and then I'm going to come in, and this is Trilogy Midnight, and I'm just putting these are really like super long nails, so I don't want to do it in one bead really, because I end up messing about with my mix ratio and it all goes a bit beat on. So I'm just starting as if I'm doing a cuticle area. Sorry if you just heard that, the dog jumped on me. Yeah, she's probably going to burp in a minute as well, so I do apologise. Yeah, so I'm just doing like a mini cuticle area halfway down the nail, and I'm pulling that Midnight down over the top of the Blue Moon. And I'm going to do this on all of the nails, and I will repeat all of these steps on the other hand. And actually I do these steps on the other hand, you just can't see me doing it. Now it's time for Midnight to go up around the cuticle area, so that's what I'm doing right now. I do want to say that my mix ratio wasn't the greatest because I was rushing, so my attention to detail wasn't right on at all. Because of that, it set a bit quickly, so I didn't get to smooth it down. So I'm just adding a very small bead to that. You see how that crease was, just to make it blend smoothly down the nail, as smooth as possible with this set. And obviously this set is quite lumpy bumpy, so usually I would cap and then file, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to file and then cap. I'm just adding a little bit more Blue Moon just to try and blend that a bit better. I felt like it was too thin over the underneath design. So when I was filing off the previous design, some of the nails had more of a design to file away than the others. For instance, this little finger had some decals on that I really wanted to file off, but they were not, they had a very thin layer of colour. So I filed off a lot more of this little finger than I did, say, the other nails, so I lost a lot of my structure. So with this particular nail, I am just going to put a lot more clear on to keep that structure there. However, the other nails who hadn't been filed down as much, I'm just going to put a very thin wet layer of clear on because they've already got that structure. The reason I am still going to put that clear on, even though this is a strength powder, is I want to protect that blend on the ombre that you can clearly see very well because it's the most obvious one of all. Not. But so that's sort of like why I'm just sort of painting that clear on with this one now. And this is the point where I realised that the so-called ombre over jelly that I thought I had created, I had indeed not created, and it looked like a half-arsed job. So I decided to change it at this point. And then I'm just going to finish capping this thumb, and then it's going to be on to doing the design work. Woo! So this is how I am going to be covering the jelly nail. I'm applying a base coat of gel polish over it, and then I'm going to cure that in the lamp, and after that I'm going to go in with one of my CND additives. Okay, so then I'm just using an eyeshadow applicator to apply this CND additive. I don't know the name of it, I will put it in the description box below. I'm just pressing that into the inhibition layer And then I'm going to smooth it down when I've pressed it in. Then I dusted all the excess off and from underneath because it was underneath as well. And then I'm coming in, this is actually Kiara Sky No Wipe Top Coat. I'd run out of my nail coming one, so I'm just using that, and that's cured for longer than my usual brand. And then I'm going to come in with Nail Coming Velvet Matte Velvet Matte Velvet? No, sorry, yep, definitely Velvet Matte. And I'm going to apply that to all of the other nails. I'm just loving how you can see my little gingerbread man in this shot like so well. Like, I love him so much. These are my happy birthday to me nails. I did change his face. And so I'm going to cure that in the lamp for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to paint some detail on. So this is Crystal Nails Royal Gel in, I think it's R6, but basically white. And the first thing that I'm doing is I am outlining the cuticle area in a very, very thin white line. I'm doing this in real time because you can't see it as I'm doing it. Sometimes my hand gets in the way. So I'm starting out all the time with a very thin line and dragging that across. And then when I'm happy, I start in the middle with like a big blob of it, and as I'm squiggling down, I'm lifting my brush up to get that nice thin point, push it down, then lift it up to get it to go thin, because when you press down you get a wider stroke. Okay, so then I push down and then I lift it up, and that's 3, and I'm doing them all the same length, and then 2 in between that is shorter using the same technique. And then to get them to look a little bit more like icicles, I'm sort of rounding the corners so they're not blocky. There you go, you can see that's going to thicken that line up a little bit as well to make it look more like snow sat down on like a ledge or something. So that's what I'm doing, the same on this side as well. I'm just thickening it up. Yep, just fill a little bit in there. I haven't cured it. I'm now getting, this is CJP Glow Powder. I'm just using them little crystal spoons, dusting it onto the top and then tapping off the excess, like sugaring basically. And then I'm going to put it into the lamp again for 1 minute. And now I am going to do the snowflake. So to do the snowflake, I start with like the way you'd use a dotting tool. I'm going to place like a dot of this acrylic gel, and from there I can swipe outwards towards the edges of the nail and the sides of the nail. And the reason that I'm doing it that way is it's going to enable me to get that line nice and thin. If I did it the other way, it's not going to go to a nice neat point on the end, and I want it to go to a point. So I'm working from the middle outwards, working from the paint towards the edge of the nail every time. And somebody pointed out that snowflakes have only 6 arms apparently, so if you're watching this and you're getting annoyed by the fact that I've done 8, I am sorry. I didn't realise, and now it's kind of bugging me that I've done so many, but it still looks okay. So I've created a cross, and these are the long tendrils or whatever you want to call it, and then in between I'm going to create shorter ones. Looks a bit like a star at the moment. So I kind of ballsed this one up, but I would like to say, I do really want to state this was my first ever try at doing a snowflake. So on the edges I am doing like arrowheads, And in hindsight, I should have worked from the middle out, just because I think it's probably a little bit better, so I don't catch it with my brush or anything, even though I didn't. But yeah, I'm doing like arrowheads. Sorry that it jumped. I just used my client's phone to look up styles of snowflakes. So yeah, my asthma's a little bit bad today, so I'm really croaky and I'm a little bit wheezy, so I'm sorry, it's a little bit like Darth Vader. So what I'm doing now, I'm connecting let's see how many different words I can use with. I'm going to use stems this time. Stems. I'm connecting the stems with interjoining diagonal lines, one from each stem meeting in the middle. And then after that, I am going to do opposite lines to the arrowheads. So the arrowheads are pointing towards the centre, and these ones are going to point away from the centre, if that makes sense, on the branches of the snowflake. If anybody wants to tell me what these little things are called coming off a snowflake, then please do, because I'm going to be doing a few more of them, and it would be really nice to be able to use the correct terminology, scientific and all that jazz. And then there we go, adding glow powder again. And then that's going to go into the lamp. And then to finish off the snowflakes, I am going to add a crystal to the centre. And then to finish off the set, I am going to add some crystals to the set centre on the middle fingers. Set, I did forget to record it. I don't know how I've managed to forget, but I can't find the video anywhere. So unfortunately, you'll just have to have the finished picture. So I'm just going to add a little blob of Chiara Sky Dip Essentials base for my crystal to adhere to. And then I'm going to add a opal white Swarovski crystal to the centre. And yeah, so that's that. And then you get to see the finished design. So here it is, finito. The middle crystals are opal blue. I was going to add some, like the design was going to be mimicking like a snowflake, but then as I did the triangle geometric pattern, do you know what I thought to myself? Actually, I really love that, and then so did my client. So we just left it as it was, and we really like it. And then you've got it here glowing in the dark. So thank you. I hope you really like it. I hope you want to see more, and I really hope you hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.